Hello, my crafty friends and creatives from around the globe. I'm starting out my video today a little different. I'm going to try not to shake the camera too much, but bear with me because I'm holding it in my hand. All right, so I'm sitting here at my table with my iPad and my favorite mug. The best therapist has fur and 4 legs. Am I right? Okay, so here's what I did, and this is just genius to me. I saw somebody using this website. It's called wheelofnames.com. Okay, and what they did was they used it for a sweepstakes. So they had a bunch of people. You know how you can, pick a number or pick a commenter on YouTube or whatever. So it was something like that. Anyway, so they had a bunch of names on the wheel and they spun it and they picked a winner and it was great. But I saw it and I thought, you know what? This would be really cool to use to pick my make for the day. Because I don't know about you, but when I sit down at my desk sometimes and I'm going to make something, I am overwhelmed. Am I going to make a pocket? Am I going to make a tag? Am I going to make a flip? What do I want to make today? And then I want to make 6 things and I don't know what I want to make. So this is going to help me decide what to make, and it is going to become a regular component of my videos from now on. So what I did was you have a little box here where you would normally put names and stuff. And this is free to use. Unless you want to save it, you can just use this for free anytime you want. And what I did was I copied all of this onto a notepad, like onto another document, so that I could just keep putting it in here. I wouldn't have to save it if I didn't want to. But I did save it under my Google name just so I could just have it there and I didn't have to keep recreating it. But anyway, so I put all the things that I would normally make on the wheel. And then what happens is if you click and then you click out, it spins the wheel for you and it picks your make. It takes all the guesswork out. So today I'm going to make something embossed. So that's what we're making today in today's video. So I hope you'll join me. I'll see you in the studio in 1 moment. In today's video, if you have these, then you can make these. And I'm going to show you how today in this quick video. And we're going to use our prompt, embossing. So stay tuned. All right, so here's what I did. And I don't want to show the label, so I'm just gonna, and I don't want to blind you with my light. What I did was I took the can and I cut, around, I emptied it obviously first, and then I cut off the top and the bottom. Okay, so that all we have left is this piece here. And then I cut down the middle and it opens up. Okay, and we're going to use this, and we're going to use an embossing folder. And I'm going to use my Big Shot, and we're going to run it through the embossing folder. And then we're going to do a little technique on top that will give it that shine. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that. So this is going to be a quick, she says nervously, tutorial. And we'll see how it goes. All right, so I got my Big Shot out here, but what I want to do first is cut my can so it ridges up here, and I've cut it above that just so I can get a clean cut here. So I just want to do that, and I'm just going to use, whoa, of course I'm just showing the label. I'm probably get a copyright strike. Anyway, let's see how it goes. I just want to cut this so that it's below where I made that other cut, that first cut. And, you can be more careful. If whatever size you want to make these, you can make them in different sizes. You can make more than one from a single can. And be very, very, very careful. This stuff is very sharp. I think that's good enough for now. All right, so let's see. You go there for a sec. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in my embossing folder, and I'm going to run it through my Sizzix Big Shot to emboss it. All right, that's step 1. And let me just get this into that situation. All right, I forget which one is going to work best here, but I think I'm going to use this part. It might not be thick enough. All right, let's see. All right, I guess we're going to go with the top. So you just want to take your aluminum and you want to put it inside the embossing folder and line it up however you, and I want this so that it is going the other way. So I want it to have the raised edge on, oh, I can't even see what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of sticking it in carefully in the embossing folder, and you know, you can line it up. I want it, the raised side, to be up. So I'm going to put it in this way with the embossing side under it. I think that's the right terminology. Anyway, let's see what we get. I might add a shim here. So hang on. Just see if this took at all. No. Let me add a little shim. And some of the, like the 3D embossing folders, I found they don't work as well because they end up actually puncturing your can. So this one, I don't know if how well you can see it. If my camera is even focusing. Yeah. You see how there's like punctures, which I actually think it looks cool. This actually looks like enameled, an enameled surface, and it's got these little, you know, cuts in it, but that kind of lends itself to the look. So even though it did that, I didn't mind it at all. All right, so let me back this out and see if I need to add another shim. And you have to play with this depending on your embossing folder and your machine. I need something else here. Try a piece of paper. And will this one fit? Another piece of paper. Let's see if this works. I don't want to put a plate on it because I found that makes a little too much pressure. So let's see if we can get it here this way. I see my shim came out the other side, so that could be causing the problem. Okay, no, there we go. All right, so we got our embossed aluminum. And I'm using a floral plate, but let me just show you something, because it's really neat if you do like steampunk stuff. And you might not already know this stuff, but so this is one of those Tim Holtz metallic ones. I don't want to blind you, but you see how, like, because it's got the rivets and stuff, it's got that metallic look. It's so funky. It actually is a great folder to use. And yeah, so all right, so then I'm just going to cut this to a size and an accent on here that I like. So maybe cut some of this. And I'm definitely going to cut this side because it's not even. And I'm just using my Tonic Tim Holtz scissors. But if you have something, you know, comparable. This is very thin, so most scissors will cut it. And I just thought that these would look really cool. Is that even? Yeah, it is kind of even. Surprised me. On like the cover of a journal. So I'm going to round the corners. And because it's so thin, it's kind of like a heavyweight cardstock. Most of your tools that you can use on cardstock, you can use on this. Now, I'm not saying it's healthy for your tools, so please do not hold me accountable if something happens to your tools. Use your own discretion. All right, enough with the disclaimers. All right, so now what I want to do is, you could leave it just like this, right? But I watched a video by Tracie Fox, and she did this cool technique for, I think they were dangles, and she used one of these gel, these are like for gel nails. You put your hand under here and it hardens the gel. And so I bought one of these. This was $9 on Amazon. Maybe it was 11. I don't know, something like that. It was really cheap, but cheap is relative, right? So if you don't have something like this, or you can't get something like this, or you don't want to use something like this, you obviously can coat this with a lot of different things. You can coat it with acrylic spray. You could coat it with like Mod Podge, clear nail polish. I mean, there's probably a lot of different things that you can do. But before we do that, and then we're going to put a coat of this, it's like a gel polish top coat. And this is what makes it harden. So that is what I have on here. And it almost looks like, it kind of has like it's very hard. But it's still flexible and it doesn't crack or anything. And it kind of feels like gelatin, but I can still feel the embossing. Same thing here. You can see that I have that, like it's hard, but flexible. And then this one that I showed you already. So these all have the gel on the top. But before I put the gel on them, what I did was I kind of, I went over this with some markers. So I'm just going to get my ink markers. And I also played around with my alcohol ink. So I have some alcohol inks. And then what I did was I kind of like dripped them on. I was, you know, and then kind of dribbled it off and rubbed it off. And it doesn't really stick well to this before you put anything on it. But it does tend to stick after you add a couple of coats. But I found that you could use other things like Sharpies, because these are also alcohol based. And, you know, you can kind of just, you don't have to do the whole thing, but you could. Right? We'll go over it with a little bit of Sharpie. You'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. All right, so this is just a random purple Sharpie. Sorry if this is loud. So if you don't have alcohol inks, these are alcohol-based markers. So what you can do is just kind of do this, right? And then, and I probably want to get something protective here. So you may want to wear gloves or something to that effect if you don't want to have ink all over your hands like I already do. I'm going to get a spray bottle I have handy with alcohol in it. Some one of these is alcohol. That's water, so this must be alcohol. Nope, that's not the alcohol. All right, so just have an old Vans box here, and I did a couple of circle ones too, so those are kind of cool. They'd be good for dangles. So you can just spritz this with some alcohol, right? And because they're alcohol-based markers, they, you know, they'll run. And I was using this little old paintbrush. And alcohol dries quick, but be careful if you suffer from asthma or COPD and you have any kind of breathing issues. Alcohol can be a trigger. So I know this because my daughter had asthma and it was a big trigger, and I had it when I was younger. So anyway, just be careful. But you know, and you can do this over and over again. You can dabble your, I'm not going to get into a great bit of detail here, but you can see that you can kind of keep doing this and, you know, keep building on it. Maybe it's not going to work now. I think because there's alcohol on it. Let me get a different color. This one's not that juicy. I have a Crayola. And these are also alcohol based. Well, check them. I think they make some water-based ones, so you just want to make sure you have the traditional ones and not the like easy cleanup ones, because I think some of them are just water-based. All right, so just going over this again, getting ink all over my cutting board. That's all right. We're crafting. I'm going to put it back in here, and I am just going to spray it again. All right, just a little. And, you know, you can kind of do this, you can work with it, you can kind of play around with it. I see how it's like liquefying, and it's getting into all those crevices, which is the part that I really like. Because it's raised, it like falls into the crevices as it dries, which is a really cool effect. So anyway, you get the point. We're just gonna let this dry for a sec. And we're working with chemicals, guys. So you know, we're all adults here, but be careful and, you know, use a ventilated area. Be cautious of open candles and things like that with alcohol. You know, we don't want to have a fire. I'm just gonna take this off camera and just dry it quick. Okay, a lot of the color washed off because it's just a marker. So I have these sprays that I made from markers. You just take the insert. I don't know if we can see one in this. Inside the markers, there's this piece of, I don't know, foam or sponge or whatever it is that they use. You can pull that out with a pair of pliers and put it in a spray bottle and add alcohol. And what it does is it sucks the ink out and you make ink sprays as long as it's alcohol based. And so I'm just going to spray this a little. And you can see, like, you get these really cool effects. Oh yeah, this is way better than what we had before. And so, you know, these have been sitting a while, so the longer you let them sit, the more intense the color gets. And, you know, you can mix and match. And, let's see, this is a different blue. Looks like it's less of a purpley blue. Add a little of that in there. What else do I got? It's another blue. I guess I like blue. I was looking for a pink or a red or something, but I don't seem to have that. Okay, so everything's going to the middle because it's curved. So let's see if we can get some of that to... And like I said, you're going to get messy if you don't wear gloves, so you might want to wear gloves. And don't wear your favorite shirt. Which, why would you? You're crafting. Oh, I just came in from the party. I think I'll just go craft. Yeah, so don't do that. All right, let me dry this off camera. I'm just going to put it on this towel. Be right back. Fun. Okay, we're done drying. It's loud, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to hear that. But I just dried it with my blow dryer. I don't have like one of those mini heat tools. I just use an old blow dryer. So, and you can see, like, I don't know how well you can see it, but we're getting some nice color in there. And the more you play with it and layer on the alcohol ink, the more variation you get, and you can experiment. It's just like fun. It's just, this one, I probably did like 6 different times, and I kept trying different colors. I had a darker green, and then I added in some brown, and yeah, so it just kind of, it comes to life at the more you go. But then, so then to get it to kind of lock in, I take this gel polish, and I have found that it's quicker if I just pour some of this out. Because otherwise it's like the biggest manicure in the world. And you could use a paintbrush, but I have this, and I just kind of paint this on, and you can take your time and get it into all the cracks and crevices and stuff, and you may have to add more. And it's reacting a little with the alcohol ink, but I found that if I let it dry a little more, it's not too bad. So, and we just want to coat it. We want to make sure it has a good coat of that gel polish on it. And again, be careful holding this. The edges could be very sharp. It's deceivingly sharp. It looks like it's not because it's kind of almost plasticky in nature, but you can get a nasty cut, so be very careful. Another reason to be wearing gloves. All right. And actually, I don't know that it's reacting with the ink. I think that might have just been the way I was holding it. All right, so these have a couple of different settings, but what I found works, and you may have a different machine or you're going to be doing a different method, is I just, no, it's not going to come on, right? Oh, where is it? All right, hold on. Okay, yeah, so you want to put it, and I put it on this one, which is the 99-second one, so like a minute and a half. And then I let it go, and then I put it on for another round of that, and then a third round. Now, you may find that it's, you know, firming up for you a lot faster than that. If you're using a specific machine, maybe you have a more professional machine, or maybe you're, you know, it's just a different model or whatever. But what you want to do is allow it to go through these rounds, and then I flip it over because some of that gel runs a little under the other side. So I flip it over and let it cure on that side for the 99 seconds. I'm not so worried about that side. And I'm just using some hand sanitizer to get some of this ink off. Since it's alcohol based, it actually does a good job at removing most of the ink. You're not going to get it all off, but it does get a good portion off. So, little tip there. And my hands are sanitized. Of course they are, it's alcohol. Okay, so we're up to 73 minutes. I'm going to let this run, and then I'll come back when I've gone through 3 rounds. All right. It is pretty much set. I'll probably go again, but for the interest of this video, I'm going to leave it. You can see now it kind of has like a, I don't know, kind of like a glossy, almost like a clear nail polish, you know, like you would expect if you clear coated something. And so I thought these would be fun. Like you could take these and put them on another piece of paper, for instance, like this. Right, you could mount it to this and then round these corners and maybe put some brads in the corners to kind of lend itself to that metal feel. Obviously, this might not be the best paper, but you get the drift. And this would really be cool if you're doing, you know, like any kind of steampunk stuff, any kind of metallic. If you wanted to make, you know, like a little hinge on the side of your journal, this would be awesome for that. You could just cut a component out of this and then wrap it around, and I think that would work like so well, right? All right, so we have met the challenge today. We have used, we did something with embossing. There it is. And I really like this idea of just letting the wheel choose for me. I mean, it takes all the stress out of it. I know what I'm going to make. It's like I'm getting a prompt. So I love it. I hope you like this little tutorial. So if you have one of these, you can make one of these. And I hope you will. And you'll share it with me on Instagram, Hither and Jan Studio. And I will see you all in the next video, I hope. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. Bye.